Okay, guys. A couple more videos left, I guess, for Surface Duel. Um, this is my second video on bugs improvements, or I guess improvements. Let's say that because I'm tired of talking about bugs. Some of these could be bugs, some of these could be improvements. Actually, that's my microphone recording. So we know Android 11 is coming out pretty soon, right? We know that Android 11, Samsung, LG has this feature to double tap to turn on the screen. Surface Duo don't have it right now. I believe it's by default enable a feature in Android 11. That to me is a big help for this tablet. The reason why, because you probably know, one thing it does is when you rotate it, you see this double tap right here, right? Double tap to turn on the screen and turn off the other screen. Same thing here, double tap. This sometimes doesn't work. I think they've kind of improved it or even fixed it now, but this, I believe, relies on kind of hardware to detect that which screen you're on. The double tap I'm talking about to turn on the screen is nothing to do with Surface double tap, but the Android 11 is an LG feature for a while where you double tap to turn on the display. That right there, that feature can be used on Surface, and that is a pretty huge feature to fix this issue where I put in phone mode, right, and I don't need to do any hardware sensing. All I do is double tap to turn on the screen. So what it should do is it's just know that I'm in phone mode, double tap, and turn on the screen, disable the screen. It doesn't need the Surface double tap, but the Android, feature. That's a huge deal. I believe it's part of Android 11. That's kind of save hardware from sensing which screen you're looking at. Are you rotating or not? Double tap, turn on the screen, disable the other screen. And I like to also see that they do it in book mode too. To kind of, if you're in book mode, and let's say you're using the screen and you're not using this screen, double tap to turn off one screen. Double tap again this screen to turn off both screens, or double tap to enable one screen, double tap to disable one screen. I love to do this, right? That'd be great to have this feature. Save battery, turn off one screen, turn on one screen. Also, again, when you go into phone mode and you're trying to enable the screen, double tap, enable the screen, disable the screen. That's the default Android 11 feature. You don't need the Surface detect which screen you're on in phone mode. It helps with the camera, everything. So that's a big feature, and they should use that. So that's a big feature. I think that will save this phone and really help with the battery life. Another feature where you can, essentially phone mode double tap, and double tap in book mode, turn on off screen if you don't need it. And the same thing for when you're in camera mode. Let's say you have a camera, right? Let's go here, and you can use this camera button, but literally I can do this, right? It automatically does it for you now these days. I don't think you need double tap. I think they improved that. But again, you can use it for everything. The default Android 11 double tap to enable disable screen. The other thing I don't like, which they can stop doing, is you see this app tray right here. There are 6 apps. I believe there's a limitation of 6 apps. So you can see that once I put in phone mode, they kind of squeeze these into these apps. And you know that, of course, when you want to move your regular apps, you go back and forth. I wish they don't need to actually squeeze this. I wish they actually don't actually move the app tray apps around like this. That's a wasted animation. Hey, I know there's app tray. Just keep it like this. Keep the 3 apps here. Allow me to, in phone mode, move this back and forth, right? Like my home screen, I can move this back and forth. Similar to this, I can move back and forth. Again, just, intuitive, right? Don't need to do the wasted animation of squeezing it back, squeezing 6 here, 6 here. That also allowed me to put 6 here and 6 here instead of 3 here. I can literally scroll through here, right? That allowed me to put more apps on the app tray. It's intuitive because I know I can scroll this screen. I can scroll this screen to the app tray. So I think that's intuitive, right? Next thing is, I mentioned this before, but I hate scrolling through all my apps and doing close all, right? I should by default have that option for any apps I look at, right? There should be a menu here that say close all. So that's cool, right? If they have the close all here versus I have to go all the way down here. So then let's do this. You probably know the gesture. I'm using gesture right now, so it's in the bottom, right? So if I'm using gesture, it's in the bottom, right? And if you move it this way, right, rotate, you'll see that it's actually on the side, these sides. It's not on the bottom here, so you open Instagram, it's here, right? You open wherever, Reddit, it's here. I wish this gesture or the whatever 3 buttons is here and here. So if you're doing this, it should be here. If you're doing this, it should be here. I don't want it to be in the side. That's not intuitive. So I don't want the actual gesture or dismiss bar to be on the side, or 3 buttons to be on the side. I want it to be in the bottom. Here. It could be here too, but I understand why they didn't want to put it here, because it's hard to do the gesture here. But definitely here and here, it would be useful here if you want to do it this way, and then you rotate it around, put it here, right? That really will make it more intuitive, make it more friendly. So then you can do something here. I was looking, so span across, right? Instead of gesture here, I can do just gesture here, and then they'll fix this issue with a stupid double tap, or if I have double tap on, they'll fix the issue with that, so I can actually do the gesturing here, and I can actually minimize stuff here, right? So that'd be cool, right? I can do gesture here, more intuitive again, and then ideally, they could have the app tray here, by the way. That's another thing. So you can see the app tray here. You can see that the app tray is kind of vertical the whole time. They can do the app tray here and allow you to scroll again. Here, if you're doing this way, here, the app tray should be here, doing that way. So again, it's just more intuitive, right? Make it seamless, right? So that's another feature, since it's kind of slow. Okay, move. Okay, eventually it's figure it out. So that's another awesome feature. They can do that. So that's one feature. The other thing is I like to disable the flashlight. So you pull down here, I have the flash right here. It should be smart enough to say I'm in book mode, disable the flashlight option, because I don't see any use model where people actually enable their flashlight facing themselves, right? Or if you're in phone mode, so you press the button. This is actually very useful. This double tap to enable the camera and but if you're in this mode with a flashlight facing away from you, you can enable that. But when you're here, right? When you're here, you can see that it doesn't sense. This is why I like the double tap to enable the screen. If they had a double tap, I can just boop, boop, enable this, disable that. But now I have to kind of figure out how to rotate this, and then once it senses that rotate, it allows you to do this. So that's why the double tap to enable the screen, disable the screen on Android 11 is a lot more useful than the sensor stuff here. But here, for example, flashlight should not be enabled because here's the flashlight. It should be smart enough to say, flashlight is on my face, don't enable that, right? And that could be an option. Unless you really want the flashlight in your screen, in your face, you can do that. Okay. Okay, another thing be nice, be cool, is you have your you basically span the app by doing this, right? Put in the middle, you span it. I wish they can do this, right? I wish they can do make this stick to this side and then span it vertically. So right now, what I have to do is this and rotate, right? That's how I get it vertically. I wish they have the ability to let's see. I wish they can do this. Basically put this on this edge or put this on the edge, and then I can span it, vertical span. That'd be awesome. It saved me one more motion of rotating it. Make it more intuitive. Again, having the bar, the gesture bar here and here. Again, you can use it in vertical mode. Span allows you to be more versatile. Make it more intuitive. Make it use actual dual screen and the dual screen vertical span mode, wide mode better, right? So that'll be great. The other thing it doesn't have right now, if you go down here, is it doesn't have the ability, at least I don't know, the ability to actually do split screen view or pop-up view on the app. I believe that's Android 11 default feature. That was on Samsung, and I think LG had some version of that. But it'd be great if you can actually have the ability to do split screen or pop-up, which basically means that I can actually have two apps on the screen, two apps on the screen, or I can have an app and I can float like a calculator or something, or a calendar or something. So now I can literally have four apps on, two apps here, two apps here. That's an Android 11 feature, so that should be enabled in Microsoft once they have Android 11. So then another thing I kind of don't like is, is that you pull it down. This thing right here is pretty narrow, the notification. This is actually narrower than a normal skinny phone. I can understand why I did that, to kind of for a single hand operation or thumb, but they can make this wider. They can make, in this book mode, they can make it as wide as this, or make it, at least make it a little bit wider than, or matches a skinny phone, or even wider, the whole screen. It gives you more buttons, more options. You can read more text here. So again, it's skinnier than a regular phone. So make it wider. So, and same thing here. I mean, this is, again, it's interesting that they made that to be here. They can wipe it down, but again, make it wider. In this case, don't make it too wide, but make it wider, so you have more stuff more buttons to play with. Again, your Y phone, right? You're a Y phone. Y use the real estate, right? And then of course, it's a I mentioned this bug so many times, but the whole double tap to close apps, 3-button navigation, not very good for Instagram. The 3 button is down here, sometimes appear, sometimes disappear. The double tap's down here, appear here, disappear. Fix that. Samsung or other companies have that option. They shorten the apps so they can actually show 3 buttons or double tap. So fix that. Right. That's what you should do. Right. So that's the first, I think, 11 improvements I wish I can have, or some, I think some of the kind of bug fixes. Right. So that's it.